Welcome everyone to our Summer Miscellany service. Welcome whether you are here in person or whether you have joined us online. I'm Louise and today is our Summer Miscellany service, hence the hat. Obviously we are recording the service so we can share it with people who can't be here. So let's begin as we always do by lighting our chalice. And we have a chalice lighting for liminal times by the appropriately named Summer Al-Bayati. In betwixt and in between, we move in the liminal spaces that show shades of what can become and what can be. We light our chalice as a symbol of courage to move into that time of this and that, and not this and not that, with patience and faith and love and hope that this time will pass, like the sun that moves in between rising and setting, reminding us that beauty resounds in betwixt and in between. We'll soon have our first reading, which Kay is going to do, but first I wanted to do a little bit of an introduction to the service, because I'll be honest that I actually found this quite a difficult service to prepare. Normally, a Summer Miscellany is meant to be cheerful and happy, a time to celebrate the most fun time of the year, or at least what we often think of as the most cheerful time. But right now, our summer is troubled. Many of us have a summer we especially remember. For me, it was 1992. I was 11 years old. It was a pretty normal summer, but it was that time when I was old enough to enjoy playing out with my best friends. The local library ran a project where we decorated the whole place as a rainforest. Dad took us to watch the rugby whenever we had a free Sunday. We picked blackberries and raspberries from the garden. The scouts went camping and the sun shone. We were old enough to have some autonomy, but not yet teenagers, and Mum and Dad were happy to let us have some freedom in the small village I grew up in. And yet at the same time, underlying that summer, was the knowledge that lurks behind all summers. At some point this will end. Sooner or later, autumn arrives. The weather is cold, the days darken. School starts again, and for us, big school and teenagerdom beckoned. And underlying all of this was the big hit of the summer, Hazard by Richard Marx. A beautiful and lyrical song, telling the tale of a young man who is unjustly blamed for the disappearance of Mary, his only friend, and has to leave the small town of Hazard to escape everyone accusing him of murdering her. Fun. Summer to me has always had that duality, and especially now. This summer has been a strange one. For many of us, the general election delivered a result we had long hoped for: joy. Then 3 young girls were horribly killed by a maniac. The Olympics are happening and we're winning medals, but the country is plagued by riots and violence, and my Black and Asian friends are traumatised and in fear for their safety. My friends are running an arts festival in the city centre, but the entire town has shut down and people are boarding up the shops, so nobody is going. When I tried to prepare this service, I kept hearing the song Summertime by Mungo Jerry in my head. A cheerful, happy song, famous among people my age for soundtracking one of the most traumatising anti-drink diving adverts of all time, which also aired in 1992. Last year, Paul Walker led worship for us on revolutions, commenting that lots of revolutions happen in July, because in older times that was likely to be the hungriest month. If the previous year's harvest was bad, July was when the food started to run out, and the August harvest of grain, fruit and vegetables had not yet arrived. You'll notice we have a poem in the order of service called The Angry Summer, which was a nickname given by some to the year 1926, when Welsh miners went on strike for 6 months. It was also known as the Summer of Soups and Speeches. The American and French revolutions are marked by holidays in summer, Independence Day and Bastille Day, and the Angry Summer was another nickname once given. It was heard more recently as a nickname for the fryingly hot Australian summer of 2013 to 2014, when the country was devastated by incredibly hot weather and wildfires. So I couldn't produce a completely happy Summer Miscellany, although I hope it isn't a depressing one either. I wanted to look at the duality of summer, both its wonder and its underlying darkness, both true at once. So let's hope that the recent stand our city and others elsewhere in Britain has made against racism and violence will be this summer's lasting legacy. And with that in mind, I would like to ask Kay if you would like to come up and do your reading, please. Let me move out of the chair. If it's possible, yes, just so that you can be seen by the people online.
Should it fall over in this distance? Right. Extract from In Summertime by Paul Laurence Dunbar. I'm drinking in the summer air, the summer sounds and summer sights that set a restless mind to rights when grief and pain and raging doubt of men and creeds have worn it out. The bird's song and the water's drone, the humming bees low monotone, the murmur of the passing breeze, and all the sounds akin to these, that make a man in summertime feel only fit for rest and rhyme. Joy springs all radiant in my breast, though pauper poor, than king more blessed. The tide beats in my soul so strong, that happiness breaks forth in song, and rings aloud the welkin blue, with all the songs I ever knew. O time of rapture, time of song, how swiftly glide the days along, adown the current of the years, above the rocks of grief and tears. 'Tis wealth enough of joy for me, in summertime to simply be.
Thank you, Kay. Brian, could you come and read the prayer, please?
Yeah. Prayer. Making Room for All That Is by Reverend Dr. Nancy Wilson. Spirit of life, ancestor of the stars and the sun, you who embrace the vastness of space and us along with it, be with us today. Hold us in our worry, our exhaustion, our grief. Keep us close as we sit with our truth, whatever that may be. Lead us to rest in the quiet, to find solace and renewal in this time of shifting light and dark. You whose arms open with the spinning galaxies, help us make room, as you do, for all that is. Open our hearts to our loved ones, our neighbours, the beings with whom we share this planet. Lead us to reach out to others in compassion. Turn us toward one another in mercy, right relationship and reconciliation. You who have seen the rising and setting of suns, of seasons, of civilizations, remind us of us all that we have learned from the history of the world and from our own histories. Give us the courage to face our mistakes and to repair them whenever possible. Help us understand our interdependence, our gravitational relatedness with all of the other spinning lives around us, and lead us to treat those relationships with care. In this space, filled with the people among us who shine like stars, this space filled with the sparkle of love and care, we give thanks for this moment to be together. May our senses be open to the beauty of this day, this season, this world. we continue our contemplation in silence. Blessed be.
David, if you would like to come up and do our next reading.
This is Reverie on an August afternoon. With tired feet, I scrunched the pedals at the shoreline, walking hard, pushing my body at the wind as if I could break through the choices and enter the place of peace. A long tree trunk, white with ocean washing, soft with the long, slow tempering of time, beckons my body, and I sit, then lie along its narrow surface. And from that prone and precarious balance, I see a tree whose fruit, above the picking line, waits for autumn winds to gather. I see a hedge of foxglove and blueberry, Queen Anne's lace and ragwort, audience to the butterfly ballet choreographed by the unseen master of the dance. I hear the triumph song of crickets and the satin swish of ocean tumbled pebbles, and my heart reminds me that God is here, not commanding, judging, threatening, or punishing, but creating a world so wonderful, a prayer so obvious that could I but cease in my fever of petition, I could witness its beauty too. It's Reverie on an August afternoon.
So, Jane, I know that you have brought a poem with you.
Yeah.
Would you like to read it now?
Oh, yeah, it's not a long one.
That's fine.
Summer. Warm sunbeams dance, vibrant flowers bloom, and the air hums with the joy of summer. It's a season that awakens our senses and fills our hearts with joy. That's it.
Our third reading is what I'm going to do. It's Summer Revolution by Catherine Shainberg. It is summertime in my part of the world. We have dropped our heavy clothes and daily winter patterns, opened our windows and doors, stepped out into sunshine and breezes. We are riding the wave of July heat and summer blooming, a time when both nature and humans explode their boundaries, turning themselves inside out, exposing their hidden core. Is it surprising that July is the month of revolution in both America and France? To what extent does a cyclical reoccurrence influence the passions that led to these seismic events? Is there something about the fact that the most shattering revolutionary events in the Western world happened in July? We try to convince ourselves that time is linear. We get caught in the notion of progress. But time is cyclical long before it's linear, and summer is the right moment to jump on the bandwagon, crest the high wave, fly off into the sapphire blue space of sky and water. Instead of fearing change, we can use the cyclical surging of energies to embrace our personal revolution. Why revolution, we may well ask. Aren't we quite satisfied with our life and privileges? And yet, isn't there a deep urge to sense more, to see more, to divine more? Think of revolution as a revelation, a popping forth from the ground of our being of our most hidden urges and truths. While religion and its rituals hum to cyclical patterns, spirituality in whatever form we embrace rises the crest to leap into the beyond. Summer is the right time to go on a holiday, a holy day of freedom. Let loose the fireworks, Shapeshift, become a tree, a bee, an ocean. Gaze within and find the treasure that only the energies of early summer can liberate. It's time to let go of the dust, the heaviness and the burdens of winter time, whether within or outside of us. And while, like Jesus of Galilee, we all bear the cross of the directions that define this earthly plane, we can also transfigure and resurrect into a new life. Our revolutionary forebears in America and France understood the importance of freedom and independence as a social contract and right. As dreamers, we recognise the importance of inner freedom and independence as a divine contract and right. And like all revolutionaries, we must seize our moments of revolution and of revelation. We do this by discovering the truth of who we are and what we want through dreaming and imaginary work. We do this by freeing ourselves from the pains of everyday life. So here is an exercise to help us do that. This is a meditation exercise. So I invite everyone to do as you will. You may wish to sit, you may wish to put both feet on the ground. You may wish to close your eyes, or, if you prefer, simply have a very soft gaze looking forwards. So let's all take a moment to do that. Close your eyes. Breathe out slowly 3 times, counting from 3 to 1. Imagine that if you have sadness, you are crying tears and crying them out of your body. See them crying from your eyes and gathering in a pool at your feet. Breathe out. Now the pool of sadness changes. See it widening, becoming a lake, and then an ocean. Breathe out. Now, dive into the ocean. Imagine yourself swimming downward towards the centre of the ocean. Find a treasure that is waiting there for you. It may be something you have always wanted. It may be something that you just want right now. See it there. Breathe out. Now, imagine yourself swimming to the other shore of the ocean. Come out of the ocean onto a beautiful sunlit beach carrying your treasure. Breathe out. Put the treasure down. Feel the sunlight drying you in the warmth. Breathe out. Pick up your treasure. What do you have? Look at it. Breathe out. Look back over your left shoulder. Take a last look at the sunlit ocean. Breathe out. Walk away across the beach in the sunlight, taking your treasure with you. Breathe out. Now, take 2 breaths, slow and unhurried. And now gently begin to open your eyes and come back to the world around you.
In the summer we think of holidays. Actually, I haven't had a holiday for 10 years or more, which doesn't bother me, but I have some good memories of early holidays. I just want to mention 2 incidents. In 1980, I went on a holiday to Switzerland. I'm not going to say anything about the actual holiday. Just want to mention one incident on the journey, because we actually went by coach, which took 36 hours. We stopped at a little village in France for a meal, and after the meal, it was about 20 minutes to fill in before the bus was due to set off. What was I going to do? Now, outside the police station, there was a huge poster recruiting for the Foreign Legion. I said, oh, why not? It's a chance to practice my French anyway. So I went into the police station and I got some information on how to join the Foreign Legion. I didn't make use of it, but I still have the literature. By contrast, in a holiday near a home, I sent a poem on a postcard. On having nothing else to do, I spent an afternoon in Crewe, and in a bookshop looking round, some Speedway magazines I found. A mere £2 I had to pay, and 8 score issues brought away. I must have looked a little haggard as underneath the weight I staggered. Though with my purchase I was glad, the missus thinks that I am mad.
Thank you, Noel. This is a final reading. It's an Earth Spirit reading by the Reverend Laura Dobson. It's called Calling the Quarters. Laura comments that calling the quarters is a practice people often use, and David actually used it in a service he did earlier this year in spring for Imbolc. And the quarters are the 4 compass points, north, south, east and west. Normally it's done to open a service or gathering, but Laura comments, today we're going to keep our quarters open in the hope of continuing the work of healing a divided world. So you don't actually have to physically turn to the east or north unless you especially want to and can remember which way it is. I should have brought a compass. Although I'm pretty sure that the coast is over there, so that's east. But just imagine the compass points in your mind. So, calling the quarters to close our service. East. When we turn to the east, we think of knowledge. We turn to logic, reason and truth. When lies are levied to spread the poison of hate, let us seek to affirm what is incontrovertible and provide true evidence that we are all created equal. Give us the strength to claim and exercise our free speech and join in one voice. With each breath let us speak words of justice till the air resounds to the sound of freedom. South. We turn to the south, and in so doing, we turn to passion. We turn to persistence, strength and tenacity. When those in power mean to oppress, Then let us rise up like a flame toward the heavens and rekindle within each other the spark of resilience, so that the light does not wane against the darkness. Give us the stamina to claim and exercise our freedom to assemble and join in community. Ignite in us the spark of resistance, till the hearth fire of all homes radiate the warmth of our security. West. We turn to the west, and in so doing, we turn to intuition. We turn to our insight, our receptivity, and our vision. When experience feels wrong in the depths of our being, let's trust our instincts, as we honour and validate the authentic testimony of those who are closer to harm. May we deepen our empathy and develop our perception. Let's give us the depth to claim and exercise our freedom of conscience and hold space for each other's sorrow until tears give way to a river of hope and our compassion becomes a shield against fear. And finally, the north. We turn north, and in so doing, we turn to solidarity. We turn to resolve, courage, and purpose. When our world quakes in division, let us stay rooted in conviction and restore our faith in humanity, so that we may work for all who call these lands home. Grant us the purpose to claim and exercise our right to freedom of speech and assembly, till the earth shall tremble with the strength of our marches and togetherness. As we work shoulder to shoulder to make love once more the bedrock upon which our world is built. And lastly, we turn to the centre, and in so doing we turn to the divine. We turn with open arms to that which we know as God. God of many names, the divine unity, the truth within, the divine. We join in prayer with all peaceful people who know their gods by other names. Protect us through these troubled times and shield our efforts, great and small, to care for ourselves, our families, our communities, and our world. Instill in each of us the sacred calling to claim and exercise our power to change the world, until the divine light within each of us shines through our service to each other. Let it become an eternal beacon for freedom, rippling out across the generations. Blessed be, and may it be so. Amen.